What's up, everybody? Celtic Scarecrow here, back with another video. Get those 10s and 20 views. Today we are talking Carolina Panthers football. I may need to owe the Philadelphia fan base an apology after this season. This first year I really engaged in Panthers Twitter. See, interact with people, get more stuff. And wow, they're just as bad as the Eagles fans. They are pretty much like the Red Queen from Alice in Wonderland. Open his head! Yeah, they want everybody fired. They want the owner to sell, which is just ungodly stupid. I will get to letting some people go in a minute, but it's like, if your thing is like, okay, cool, we had Matt Rule for 2.5 years, let him go. We got rid of Frank Wright after 5 games. Yeah, that is a recipe for disaster, and I don't see a lot of coaches wanting to come here. Now, but the big question is, what do the Panthers do at 0-5? I have 2 scenarios played out in my head. I have done a mock draft for both. And it's rebuild versus restart, which rebuild is pretty much simple. We build around. I'm going to make myself actually smaller. So I'm going to have to add a bunch of photos to the screen. Shrink me. So for the rebuild process, which is kind of where I would rather see them go instead of just hitting the hard restart, because the hard restart, I will explain, is very hard. So the rebuild way I would do it, this is granted me taking over. First off, I think whether we're rebuilding or restarted, Frank Wright is staying. Like, a lot of people don't realize, Frank Wright coached Carson Wentz to an MVP level hit last year in Philly before he got hurt. Coached Nick Foles to a Super Bowl win and MVP when he coached with the Eagles. Did 5 years with Indy. The last year I'm not fully counting because it was a short season and weird injuries. But he had Andrew Luck with last year of Andrew Luck, which he went 11-5, and Luck threw for like 4,500 yards. Josh Dobbs next year went 7-9. He threw for just under 3,000 yards. Philip Rivers or Matt Ryan, or one of those two, past their prime, threw for 4,500 yards. And I forget the fourth quarterback, but he also threw for 3,500 yards. So it's like, hey, look, he can coach quarterbacks. He had 1 losing season out of 4 with 4 different quarterbacks. Give him time to grow. The key problem, and I do mean the problem with the Carolina Panthers, is our GM, Fitter, he has 2 ERs at the end of it. He has bad drafts, bad trades, bad signings. That's why we're not good. It's not coaching. It might be a little bit of coaching, at least the last couple seasons. This year, no. We don't have a well-constructed team just to succeed. Now, with that being said, like I said, I do think Frank Wright is staying, but Federer needs to go. He needs to be gone, as of like last week.
You're fired.
So, with the rebuild process, I think that more or less comes down to, I need to also get another thing up. I know, I should have had all this stuff well prepped beforehand. I don't know what is up with my screen, my computer right now. Yeah, my computer is acting weird. So for the rebuild one, this more or less comes down to, we need to build around our key players. Those key players, in my personal opinion, are on offense. One of the only, Bryce Young. He is showing signs of improvement. He's showing that right now he's good, not great, but he is slowly improving, making rookie mistakes, which we do expect. And Adam Thielen. Yeah, that is literally our core of our offense. Now, we do have a couple of high hope players, which are, Hayden Hurst, Tommy Tremble, and Jonathan Mingo. Mingo's a rookie. He gets a pass on that avenue just for the fact that he's a rookie. He should grow. Give him a chance to grow. Now, Hayden Hurst, he has vanished after the Atlanta game. So I don't know why Ian Thomas is our number one tight end. I will get to him. But here's your vet tight end we should be leaning on. And Tommy Tremble is taking steps forward. He is the best blocking tight end we have. And he had a touchdown this week. So just remember, Tommy Tremble drafted the same year as Kyle Pitts has more touchdowns this season than him. Just saying, I think they have roughly the same amount of touchdowns. That would be our core on offense. We can build from there out. Miles Sanders needs to go. That is obvious. We're paying him way too much money to suck. DJ Chark isn't showing up. There's that. Iggy on the offensive line, he took a step back, so he can go in the key players kind of build. And it's just the offensive line is hurt and not good. So slowly build that up. Now, our core players on defense is Brian Burns, Frankie Louvu, and Derek Brown. Those are the players we need to build around. These, let's see, how many players is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. These 8 players should be the core of the Carolina Panthers for the next 5 years. Minimum. So with that being said, we need to rebuild. Well, first thing we need to do is probably trade, I would say, Miles Sanders and a 3rd round picks to the Broncos and get Jerry Jeudy on this team. Jerry Jeudy is a proven guy. For a 3rd round pick, that is a steal. And if we can sign him, if he's not signed, what is Jerry Jeudy contract? I should have looked that up. But it's like, so if he can stay here, Jerry Jeudy contract. Jerry Jeudy signed a 4-year, $50 million contract. Right, no. When did he sign? That is the great question. Yeah, so we would have him for this year and next year, and then he'll become an unrestricted free agent afterwards. If you can re-sign him for that, like for good money, do it. You have a young guy who runs great routes and has great hands with some over-the-top speed. I don't know why that thing's still being mean. But yeah, with Jared Jeudy on the team, you get Bryce Young in our weapon. We should be improving as the season goes on with this team. And if you're pretty much saying that, hey, we're in rebuild mode, just let Bryce just see what we can do with him. How good is his throws? Let him learn by just being reckless and careless. Fix bad mistakes if they constantly pop up. And just let him grow. So, how do we fix this? Well, we have to go into the draft. This is my draft board, as you see it right here. I didn't make that many trades. Actually, I did make a few trades. But this is how I would draft as right now via the website. I forgot what website I actually used. Pro Football Network. Because I am not paying for fantasy football, pro fantasy focus, $20 to do that. So in this one, in the rebuild, we start off this draft by picking Raheem Sanders, running back out of Notre Dame. Not Notre Dame, Arkansas. My bad. 6'2", 240. This guy is just, granted, I don't have the Pro Football Focus that actually had the scouting report on it. Nursing an injury this year, but last year he had 222 carries for 1,400 yards, averaging 6 yards a carry, 10 touchdowns, a 76-yard touchdown, 28 catch, for 217 yards. So this is a big back that can catch, can move, and that is just a wall. And that gives Bryce Young someone who can protect him back there. Next round pick, we did take a wide receiver who's listed at 6'7", 137. If you're overthrowing a guy who's 6'7", 137, that's on you. Last year had 43 catches, just for 1,000 yards. This could be just based off what I see. This is big body, big receiver, big chance, big body. But this was also a third round pick that I actually traded back into, which I think that would be more like trading away like someone like Ian Thomas, Miles Sanders to go get a guy. Next up is a familiar name for the Carolina Panthers, Moose Muhammad III. Yes, Musim Muhammad's son. If he's anything like his dad, this is a steal in the third round. 6'1", 205. Born here in Charlotte, probably while his dad was playing here, so he has a connection to the area. This year, he currently has 12 catches for 119 yards, a touchdown, averaging 9.9 yards a carry. Weapons is what we're giving him. Granted, the next two, there's not much to it. Patrick Paul, 6'7", 315, offensive lineman. The line needs help. Also, there's not stats on linemen. Same with this Bo Lemer, 6'5", 307. Can't go wrong with taking linemen late in the draft. And I somehow got Mario Williams with pick 142. The guy currently has 70 catches for 206 yards, one touchdown, averaging 12 yards. Everything I see on this guy, he is just fast. You need your speed receiver, there he is. But that being said, I can close out some things. This is the rebuild. It's not as much of going out, drafting a ton of people, going out and trying to fix every problem now. In free agency, maybe a target another top receiver like T. Higgins, Jefferson for the Minnesota Vikings. He might be a free agent. Maybe target a top tier wide receiver free agent. Target an offense line, but don't overspend. Now, for the restart. We have zero faith in this entire team. Let's hit the full nuke. We'll probably not be competitive for at least a year or two compared to rebuild where we should be competitive. Probably next year, be competitive. 2020, 23, 24, 25 season, be competitive. 25, 26, be a playoff team. This is 25, 26. We should be pretty good. The thing with the nuke it down, burn it all to the ground. We have to get rid of a lot of key pieces. This is like so in this one, I pretty much am trading Brian Burns to the Bears just to get our first round pick back. You're trading like DJ Chark, Miles Sanders to get more draft capital. This is like full fire sell. Try to trade Bryce Young this year, like now, to somebody like the Jets, who could still be a playoff team with a better quarterback. And I would say Bryce Young is better than Zach Wilson. So with that being said, this is the draft I would do. And I didn't trade for Jerry Jeudy. I wouldn't trade. If we're going full nuke, full rebuild, you do not trade for Jerry Jeudy. You just kind of let this team be god awful. So I got our first round pick back. As you see with this one, as I now need to pull it back up, got a lot more picks. You are picking, oh, this one's moving, a ton of people in a rebuild. You are making trades. You're getting everybody back. And I'm going to go down, again, through this list of why so first off, I got the number one pick. I am taking Drake Mays. One, Caleb Williams is great. We all know this, but Caleb Williams seems more about Caleb Williams. The fact that he said, I'll stay in college if the team I don't want has no more pick because I can make just as money there. Seems like the type of guy who will hold us up for a time. Like Drake Mays, on the other hand, born in Carolina, goes to school in Carolina, hometown kid. We can easily market him. And he's doing almost as well as Caleb Williams with a lot less in a tougher division. I will say the ACC is a lot tougher than the Pac 12. Why the Pac 12 is falling apart. Like last year, he threw for 4,321 yards, averaging 8 yards, 38 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Big arm, mobile. He is blowing people out this year. Granted, he hasn't played anybody good yet, but he's blowing out. This guy can just throw. He already has 1,600 yards, 8 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. That's our first round. That would be our first round pick. I would take. Next up was, and I kept our second wide receiver, Troy Franklin, 6'3". I don't know much about this guy. I don't watch the Pac-12, but they have him at a first round grade, so that's why I took him there. We got improved running backs. Breelon Allen. I'm sorry if I butchered your name if you ever see this. 73 carries for 427 yards, 7 touchdowns, 6.5 yards a carry this year. And again, taking Moose, adding weapons. Got Cam Hart somehow at pick 133. I don't know how he's there. Right? 7 solo tackles, 2 forced fumbles, and pass deflected 3 this year. The dude can play. Trying to see where am I at next. Again, you can't really say much about offensive guard. 6'6", 305. Grabbed a linebacker because can't hurt to get more linebackers. This guy has 18 tackles, 1.5 sacks, interceptions so far this year. Granted, I don't think he's playing like super big. No, he played against Florida. He had against Florida, who was ranked. He had 8 tackles, 4 solos, and 1 sack. So there's your linebacker and offense. Another lineman. Who's this? A safety. 20 tackles so far this year. 1 forced fumble. Lineman. And then another edge rusher. This version of the full nuke rebuild is you are just saying this team is just so bad that we're going to hit the hard restart. Know that we're not going to be competitive. Go out and get in my opinion, a better quarterback from this next draft class. And I said that going back to mock draft 1 of this year. I'm not sure which way to go. I personally don't want to just be that. Either way, we got to stick with Frank Wright. You can't go through coaching carousel. We just need a guy who gets in, gets his stuff done. We need a better GM to help build this team, regardless if you go rebuild or restart. Restart, it really comes down to getting both of them. Both of these come down to getting the right GM in place to vastly improve this team. If we're rebuilding, he needs to get us guys who can quickly improve this team quickly. You make 1 or 2 moves, by the bye week, which is next week, we could turn the season around. This division potentially could fall apart. We could still be there for the playoffs. Weird to say, but that's it. Next year, completely take a giant step forward and just own this division. Where the full nuke restart, we are throwing everything away, saying everything we have done up to this point is complete trash, and now we need to just wash our hands, clean it like token right here. But what do you think? Should we restart it or rebuild it? I don't know, but right now we got to go to our GM. But that's it. That's all I have. I will see you weird people later.